Hello everyone. Today we will explore together the 8 laws of money to win the money game and achieve financial stability. First, you must understand the rules. There are many money rules, but for this video we've selected the most important ones and compiled them into a single video. It's like a crash course on money management. If you want to master the money game, this video will teach you everything you need to know about money. If you're ready, grab a drink and some snacks and enjoy the video. Who is the millionaire who became a millionaire faster than anyone else? Warren Buffett spent 55 years in the Billionaire Club, while Jay Walker achieved it in less than a year. Literally. He launched Priceline.com during the dot-com bubble, and his net worth instantly jumped from zero to billions of dollars. But his project wasn't sustainable because when the bubble burst, his net worth collapsed. Whereas Buffett remains at the top of the list with no signs of falling. This is the kind of wealth you'd want to build. The money game isn't easy. It's tough, competitive, and ruthless. If you don't know the rules, you're doomed to fail. Some people work hard their entire lives but end up poor because they don't understand how the game works. So if you want to be on the other side of the coin, you'd better learn the rules. Let me introduce you to the 8 laws of money. Let's start with number 1. Money grows on trees. I'm sure many of you have been taught the opposite, but the reality is that if you don't operate with this mindset, you'll be poor forever. You can't spend your whole life trading your time for money. That's why you must plant trees that will earn you money even when you're not there. But it's not as easy as it sounds. Do you know how hard it is to plant a tree? It's useless if you don't plant it in nutrient-rich soil, and the tree won't grow on its own. You have to water it, care for it, and it certainly won't grow overnight. Some trees take 10, 20, or even 30 years to grow. But once they do, they'll keep producing fruit with minimal effort. The same applies to assets. Once you build a business or save enough to make a good investment, it will keep generating income even if you're not there. Because at some point, you might grow old or get sick. As an old sick person, you won't be able to keep working, so even if you earn $500 an hour, you could become poor again immediately if you haven't planted enough trees in your garden. Rule number 2. There's no limit to what you can spend. I remember when I lived paycheck to paycheck, I had an extremely tight budget. I thought that if I earned even a little more, I'd start investing. But in the end, what happened was that I started spending more. When I began earning more, my expenses grew higher and higher. If you don't stick to a budget, you won't be able to save money to invest, even if you earn 100,000 euros a month. There are endless ways to spend that 100,000 euros. So instead of constantly pushing your investment threshold higher, discipline yourself to maintain a smaller budget. If Elon Musk survived on $1 a day in the US, you can surely survive on a few hundred euros. Don't get me wrong. Enjoy the money you earn from your hard work. Travel and do what you want, but stick to a budget below your income. The third law, money is a lifelong game. When I seriously approached money and investments, I had this image in my mind. Once I start earning this much, I won't need to stick to a strict budget, and I'll finally be able to retire and enjoy the fruits of my labor. But when I started earning that much, I realized it wasn't enough. I had to earn much more. In fact, even all the passive income streams I built weren't as passive as I thought. They required management. They'd stop generating income if I didn't take care of them. For example, if you buy a house, you won't find tenants immediately unless you actively look for them. If you neglect them, they could even become a liability. Doing nothing is foolish. Even if you build a successful business, competitors will try to take you down every day. So forget about retiring one day. Of course, you can automate some tasks and reduce your working hours, but overall, this game never ends. It never ends as long as you're alive. A clear example is that the richest people in the world keep working and launching projects even when they don't need to. The next rule is probably the most important lesson in this video. Money won't solve your insecurities. We all have insecurities, and often we buy that expensive car, move to a bigger house, or get the latest phone to be accepted or admired. That luxury car will make you feel good for a week or two, but then it'll feel normal. Your insecurity won't disappear, so you'll want an even better, more expensive car. It's an endless cycle that keeps even high earners poor. If it's acceptance you seek, learn to manage your emotions better. The truth is, your insecurities will drain your bank account, but will still be there. I'm not saying you shouldn't buy an expensive car or a private jet. You can buy whatever you want. But don't do it to cover up your insecurities. There are much better and cheaper ways to do that. Number 5. Don't let anyone know you have money. At the end of the day, in the age of capitalism, money defines your social status. At least, that's what most people think. But the problem is, money is like a magnet. Suddenly, people will be nice to you because they all want to take advantage of it. It's nice to be loved and respected, but it comes at a price that's not worth it. If they can't get benefits from you in a friendly way, they'll sue you and get them the hard way. This is the reality we live in. Even if you earn €1 million a year, don't tell anyone. Stay humble, don't show off, and keep earning more. Law number 6. The biggest wealth transfers happen during crises. When the economy crashed in 2008, the unemployment rate skyrocketed because businesses couldn't cover their expenses. Millions lost their jobs, homes, and became poorer. Others started investing aggressively and became much richer after the crisis because the greatest wealth transfers always occurred during crises. If you're ready to seize the opportunity, you could achieve immediate success. Just look at Jay Walker, whom we mentioned at the beginning. He joined the Billionaire Club in less than a year by leveraging the dot-com bubble. Though his wealth wasn't sustainable, he saved hundreds of millions. Another example is Mark, who once said you need luck to become a billionaire. If it weren't for the 1998 financial crisis, he'd never have become one. Instead of seeing financial crises as problems, take advantage of them, as they did. They profited from the crisis because they understood how the system works. So study past crises to understand how and why they start, and be ready for the unpredictable. Another money rule says, as you grow, expenses will inevitably increase. Have you noticed that every year you spend more and more in one way or another? €100 was a lot of money when you were a teenager, but now it barely covers the gas bill. And as you age, your expenses will keep rising. It's the nature of life, especially if you start a family. Most people don't worry about the future because they're earning enough now. But when they reach a point where expenses exceed income, they start complaining about not earning enough to invest. If you don't ensure your income grows year after year, you'll be trapped in a paycheck cycle that will keep you poor for life. That's why you must take the next and final rule of today's video very seriously. Wealth accumulates over time. Just as you can't grow a tree overnight, you can't grow wealth overnight. The sooner you invest, the better. Thanks to the power of compound interest, you can become rich even with just €100. It's no surprise that the world's greatest investors started at age 11. What were you doing at 11? Here's a fun fact. You can make your grandchild a millionaire with just €160, the price of a new smartphone. Because in 100 years, without a single additional investment, that money will grow to over $1 million. They'll be grateful. And if they're not greedy and keep it for their future grandchild for another 100 years, it'll grow to nearly $1 billion. The earlier you start, the sooner you'll reach a point where you earn enough to stop worrying about bills. Warren Buffett took 55 years to make his first billion and just 3 more to make his second. In fact, he earned 98% of his wealth after his 55th birthday, thanks to compounding. If you found this video interesting and useful, I'll definitely make a second part. Now, give it a thumbs up. It deserves it, and make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.